So it's lovely to meet you all, and thank you for coming to spend the next hour with myself and with zest and motivation in isolation right now. And I'm really grateful to be here again for the third time. And when we actually did put this particular, we actually decided on this topic probably about maybe 5 weeks ago, but we just decided some of the earlier ones were probably better ones. And I guess in my mind I did know that we'll probably get to a stage where we need a bit more inspiration. What are we going to do? So I know that what I'm going to share is going to inspire you wherever you are right now. So if you just bear with me, I'm just going to try and just so welcome everybody, and like I said, thank you for joining us everywhere, wherever you are right now. And so before we get started, I'd love you to just maybe in the comments just acknowledge why you decided to join this particular topic, because I think for many people they'll join for a purpose instead. And probably many of you are not feeling how that picture portrays at the moment of a lot of love, a lot of joy right now. And I think, for all of us, we will experience inspiration in completely different ways. We could feel lost, we could feel stuck. And in this time right now, that's a lot of what's going on for many of us. So I want to inspire you today with finding a way that's right for you. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at are you struggling, and how to inspire yourself to create a vision in these uncertain times. So we're going to look at how do you inspire yourself. And I think very often we look at external people to inspire ourselves, but the key thing is it's got to start within ourselves. So that's what I want to do, is I want to help inspire you so that you can inspire yourself after today. Why do we need to be motivated? How to unlock your vision, how to get clarity, to create the vision that you want to live, and then how to start creating that vision that you've got for your life and your work and the actions that you need to take. So I know for many of you and for all of us, we're at different stages right now in this journey, and it's about acknowledging where we are right now. So does this sound familiar? I just can't do this anymore. I've tried to make some sort of change. I've tried everything. Nothing's working. Why can I fix anything but myself? I've run out of ideas. There's got to be more to life than this. If this sounds familiar, then you're not alone, because it's the point that I and many of my high achieving clients have got to in the past. And so from the outside, it might seem that we're doing okay and we're coping and everything's great, but on the inside, we feel like we're confused and we're all over the place. And that's the reality. Is a lot of this is normal, but we maybe aren't vocal about it and we don't share enough about it. And is it perhaps maybe this is what's going on for you? You knew that there was something, you know that something isn't right, but you just can't put your finger on it. And so that's why you can't fix it. And so what I want to do is I want to get you to feel inspired. I want you to experience the inspiration that's right for you. So I'll just give you a little bit of an intro to me. Most of you will know, but there's a lot of new familiar faces here. So I'm from Zimbabwe, originally from Africa. I'm Greek, and I've been in the UK for the last 20 years. And I've been through 3 very big life-changing events. So my mum died to cancer when I was 13. I had burnout 8 years ago, and then I've been on a cancer journey in the last 2.5 years. So I had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma and I'm in remission. So I'm super grateful. So and I've got a background in HR and recruitment, and then I've worked within and having my own coaching business in the last 5 years. And so we work with and we coach heart-centered individuals to help them to slow down, to find inner peace, and to grow their mindsets to seek more life, more purpose in their life and their work. So when I talk to you about inspiration, I talk to you from a professional perspective, but also from a personal perspective of losing inspiration 8 years ago, not wanting to be alive, and then also having come back and fought cancer and all of these sorts of things. So when I share this with you, I share from experience and also going through the trials and going through the tough times. And we're really passionate about helping individuals, teaching you tools, strategies to slow down and to find more calmness and clarity on your well-being. And I'm sure every single one of you want more calmness, you want more clarity, and you want more focus on your well-being each and every day. And then within my consultancy side, this is my gorgeous team. One of them is my sister, and so we're on a mission to see more joyful employees content in their workplace. So having come from a career in HR and recruitment, I've seen everything in the workplace. So we're really passionate about bringing more joy to the workplace, bringing really heart stuff to people's strategies, because the reality is things will go on in the workplace. So we do a lot in tackling retention, talent management, employee engagement, people development, but with a more human approach. And we do that through encouraging work-life balance. But more importantly, we're really passionate about how we start things, how we move forward, and that's the most important thing. So we partner up with a lot of organizations with their people, but to do something a bit different with the heart and a bit of love. You'll see that there's a lot of stuff that will come through in my slides on love and joy and those sorts of things, because we need that. That's one of the things we need each and every day. I'm sure all of us want a bit of heart and a bit of love, don't we? We want to feel happy. We want to foster that each and every day. So why do we lose our inspiration? Why do we feel like, oh my goodness, it's just tough and I just can't do this? And why? And so it's about understanding what that why is. So I don't know for you where you are right now, it's about acknowledging, why have you lost your inspiration? What's got in the way of you feeling inspired or motivated each and every day? You know, this was me at the beginning of the week. I did feel a bit flat at the beginning of the week. I was like, oh, another week. I still felt a bit tired. There were lots of things in the plan that I didn't really want to do. One of them was we were doing a gratitude challenge over on my Facebook page. I really didn't want to do it. I didn't feel inspired, but I did it, and I just recorded the fourth one now, and I feel so much better. And so it's okay to acknowledge these sorts of things when you've lost your inspiration. But there's so many reasons why. And so this is only a list of some of them. There's obviously so many I could have picked out, but these are the most common that I see. So you're not being satisfied with what you've done or what you're doing. You're trying to be perfect, and you've lost your motivation. Or is it just because what you're trying to do isn't achievable right now? Or, you know, many of us are afraid to try new things or to complete projects, or you know, thinking of not being good enough. All of us have that, of not feeling good enough. I can't do this, that other person's better than me, I can't do that, I can't speak like that. Do we self-sabotage? And I see a lot more women do this more than men, is self-sabotaging. So that's when we actively or passively take steps to prevent ourselves from achieving what we want to achieve. And this behavior affects nearly every aspect of our life: relationships, careers, work, everything. Or perhaps the brokenness. Maybe a lot of us have got brokenness in our lives, or lack of confidence, or lack of self-belief, or imposter syndrome, or procrastinating, or stressed, or burnt out, or bored. You know, that was for me 8 years ago. I was bored in the career that I was in. I was bored, I was tired. So what is it for you? Why you're losing your inspiration right now? And it's really important for us to acknowledge that, because when we've acknowledged what's going on, that's when we can create change in order to move forward. That's when we can actually put some steps in place in order to make a change. So it's about recognizing that. And so something I'm really passionate about is helping people release their inner selves. And that inner self is that inner you, what's really important to us. And I think very often with a lot of adults that I see is we've lost our way. We can't feel what's within us. We can't understand it. We can't put the words into, we can't understand it. We can't put what we're feeling into actual actions, or into explaining it, or even communicating it to ourselves. And that's because we've piled up all that self-sabotage, all that stress, all that burnout is all stuck in here, and we're dead. We feel like we're dead inside. That's where we've lost the inspiration. And this was, again, me 8 years ago, hence why I've designed this, and I've gone through this journey to help people. And so releasing the inner you starts with you, yourself. So it's about acknowledging where you are in this map right here. So is it self-growth? Is it self-value? Is it self-creativity? Is it self-talk, how you talk to yourself, how you take care of yourself, your vision, your health, your confidence, the comparison? Are you comparing yourself to other people? Do you need to heal through certain things that have gone on? Self-connection, that connection with yourself, but also with the things that you want to do, gratitudes, self-leadership. And interestingly, notice that it's all self-related. And I think very often we're always looking for everybody else to fix things for ourselves, everybody else to make things better. But it starts with the self. It starts with ourselves. So I want to encourage you and inspire you today to find that inspiration, whether it be lost somewhere in you, that maybe we ignite it and rediscover it, realign it, find it, dig deep within you, because it's there. it's just hidden away, or maybe you're not quite aware that that's actually really the inspiration you've got or what you want to do. And so here is a list. And again, I could have put a list of loads of different people on here. I'd love you to just acknowledge who inspires you looking at this. And when I've run this this similar sort of slide before, lots of people will be like, oh, Kiki, I don't know half the people on there. But who stands out to you the most? I would really love you to, who inspires you? And I'd love to hear, and there's a few comments, so while you're all doing that, I might acknowledge here. Very inspiring. Jackie saying, you're very inspiring, Kiki. I felt a bit down after VE Day, but later on the weekend I felt better. Yes, yes, it is. I've really acknowledged that, and we all feel that, and I think that's the key thing, is we all feel down at different points in time. But it's just acknowledging that feeling, and I think sometimes we're so afraid to feel that. But a lot of the people that I've shared on here, and I picked them at random when I first did this, because there's a right mix of people on here, is there's so much that we could take away from some of these people on here that have lived a life that was not easy, that did amazing things, but it was not easy. So who do you relate to the most there? So Brene Brown, yes, love Brene Brown. Princess Diana, for me, yes, she's one of my favorites too. Michelle Obama, yes. And if any of you haven't watched Michelle Obama, she's got a documentary on Netflix. It's amazing. Anybody else? And what is it about some of these people that inspire you? Another Michelle Obama. She's so humbling, by the way. Just, that's what I love about her, so humbling. So lots of these people inspire. Another Michelle Obama. Lots of these people here inspire us for a reason. So why could it not be any different for us who want to maybe change the world, or to create a legacy, or to create something different, or even just to live a life each and every day? But also, there's a lot for us to learn from some of these other people. Yes, Simon Sinek, love him too. Nelson Mandela, yes, love him too. Love all of these. But there's so much that we can learn from the good and the bad. You know, one of them, obviously, Boris, his announcement on Sunday, there was so many goods and bads of people sharing lots of things about what he was doing on Monday, and on social media. And, you know, so we can be inspired, but we can also feel there's so much we can learn. So who could you borrow some of the inspiration from? Interestingly, not many of you have mentioned you, which could be you in the corner over there. But you've got to inspire yourself, and it's got to start with you. So it might be you might borrow some stuff from Simon Sinek, or it might be you might borrow some stuff from Princess Diana, or some stuff from Nelson Mandela. You might be inspired by what Michelle Obama's done. But there's so many people that we can look up to that can inspire us each and every day, in order for us to live that life. And so why do we need to be motivated daily? Why do you want to be motivated daily? So what's important to you? And I don't know about you, for me, it's about, I want to feel fulfilled. I want to feel purposeful. I want to feel alive. I want to feel like I'm loving life. And often it could be that we've fallen out of love with the work that we do, or the life that we've got, or the things that we're doing, or the habits that we've got. And so it's about us re-motivating ourselves. And it's about the actions that we take. So it's about acknowledging these things. So how do you inspire yourself? So you let go of the old way and you create a new way in moving forward. You acknowledge how you feel. So do you know what? I think it was Jackie who said that you felt a bit down after VE Day. So we acknowledge, I felt down, I felt a bit unmotivated on Monday. We acknowledge how we feel, and what we want and how we want to live, because we can flourish through things in life and work, and we can come out the other side of it. A lot of what I've shared with you about my background, I've created those things out of the times of challenge, out of the times of darkness, out of the times where the light came in. But it's about building that inner confidence within you, spending time on yourself, knowing what you want, letting go of the small stuff. And I think so often we're so focused on the big stuff that we just need to let go of some of the really small stuff. If you didn't do your exercise, or you didn't do something properly, or you missed something off, or you didn't do, it's okay, let it go. Tomorrow's another day. and finding the exact strategies and structure that are right for you. So for each of us, we'll be motivated completely different. For each of us, we'll slow down completely different. For each of us, will be inspired in a completely different way. But it's about reigniting and rediscovering that boldness within you, and that courage, and that strong, healthy, positive mindset. And now it's about then, releasing that inner self, of who that inner self is. And, you might be thinking right now, oh, I don't know who that inner self is. And that's okay. You'll rediscover it. But by fulfilling this promise, reconnecting with your passions, the things that are really important to you, it helps you to understand your reality and providing you with clarity. And clarity is the one thing that I think gets in the way also of us being inspired, is what do we do? What do I do each day? How should I do this? But let yourself seek that clarity by finding hope in your reality. And so you've got a lot of evidence. We've got evidence every single day of the lack of self-belief, or the fear of failure, or of unhappiness. But it's about us fostering that each and every day. And so passionately, and notice that word passionately, it's about navigating and finding that strength within you, that boldness, that courage. A lot of Brene Brown talks a lot about that, about the courage and the boldness and the vulnerability that you develop in your healthy, positive mindset to release that inner you, because you are the inspiration, and it's about you creating that vision and making it a reality. And look at what's possible. Some of those people that have been inspired, have gone to do different things in the world, have gone out to be the inspiration, even though they've not wanted to do it. I'm also amazed and inspired of how quickly Zest have got this little community. There's not this little community, because we've got loads of people joining into this now, and the speakers and the inspiration is just incredible. But look at what's been created in such a short space of time. So the same thing could be for you with what you want to create. And so it's about forgetting the mistakes. Get rid of the mistakes. They're gone, but it's about remembering the lesson. And you know what? The mistakes are cool. It's what you learn from them. And so can you be inspired by yourself? Yes, I believe that. But do you believe that? And self-inspiration is the ability to take yourself from boredom to passionate. And I think for many of us who've want to create lots of different things, and want to change the world, and want to do lots of things, perhaps we've been bored in certain things for such a long period of time, but we continue doing it because that's what's expected, or that's what we have to do. And so it's going to that from boredom to passionate. So what would your journey look like to go back to passionate, and from stagnant to active, and from discouraged to excited? And it doesn't depend on external assistance. It depends on ourselves. And so self-inspiring people can inspire themselves, and likely others, at any time, anywhere. And I am more than 100% sure every single one of you listening in on here will inspire others. You will do it daily, whether that be with your family, your team members. So why can't you do it for yourself? And so self-inspiring people get things done. And so a lot of the time people say, oh, how do I stop being lazy? And how do I stop doing this? And the reality is, it's about moving that word lazy and that guilt-free word that you're using into, how can I spend time with myself? Or how can I just spend more time doing X? And lazy, I think, gets that word does get used around a lot. Certainly in my school days, it was used a lot. And it's okay to have a lazy day. It's okay. Sunday I had a day and I watched 4 movies. I don't often do that. I don't watch a lot of TV. I watched Michelle Obama. I watched some chick flick stuff. I watched something with my husband, which was very lots of action. But you know what? I didn't say to myself I was feeling guilty because I was sat on the sofa, but that's what I needed. So it's about acknowledging what do you need, but not feeling guilty about it. Or is it perhaps you nourish yourself with some chocolate, or if you nourish yourself, as long as there's a balance with all of this, is, do you know what, tonight I'm gonna just have something that doesn't require a lot of effort to cook dinner with. So it's not being lazy, it's just picking the words of what you're going to do to inspire yourself, but not being hard on yourself. And I think what happens is, remember what we said at the very beginning, you're hard on yourself, you self-sabotage, you're rubbish, you're not good enough. Before you know it, no wonder we're not inspired and we're discouraged. So let's be inspired. Let's forget the mistakes and let us remember the good, the lessons, the things that we can inspire people about. And this is something I love. And what I love when I'm doing some of these works, these masterclasses, but also with the work that I do, it is about being yourself. And interestingly, this is something that I've lived by even when I was younger. I know my family have always said to me like this. My dad often says, like, there's no other person that's got the crazy ideas like you, Kiki. And I'm proud of that, because I'm happy to be myself. And I want to encourage every one of you to be yourself too. You know, each of us have got such a unique story, such a unique experience. Let's go and be ourselves. And I think very often, especially in the world we live in now, we feel like we have to be like somebody else. We've got to live this life like everybody else. And it's okay to live life on your terms, but be yourself, be you, because there's nobody else. And that's what I love, is there's no other Kiki in the world, no other Kiki that's got my crazy ideas, the fun things I want to do, you know, just all of those things. And that's what drives me each and every day, is to be more me. Now, have I always been like this? Most of the time, yes, except for when I had my burnout, when I'd lost my way, but we all lose our way. So how can you start being more of yourself, more free, more outspoken, with love, you know, more boundaries, with more encouragement, and not being worried about what other people say? And I think sometimes a lot of the challenges we get is maybe from the people that are closest to us. I know when I was making a massive career change 8 years ago, none of the people around me or even my family was supportive of me giving up the career that I was in and changing careers and starting all over. People thought I was mad. I left the job that I was in with nothing to go to. But I had that conviction within me that I knew that I had something to give. I knew that I could be myself. And the industry that I'd been in, the jobs that I'd been in, I was too busy being somebody else that other people wanted me to be. And so, you know, each and every day, that's the most important thing, is to be yourself. So how can you be more of you? How can you live more of you each and every day? And so how do you unlock that vision? So you be kind to yourself, first of all, because I think that one of probably the many reasons why many of you have come on here is because you're probably very hard on yourself. You self-sabotage. I know a couple of you individually on here, so I know that you're not always kind to yourself. Be yourself, because everybody else is taken. But connect with your passions, what you love doing. What did you love doing when you were younger? What do you love doing now? And start with just a small step in moving forward. But connect with creativity in your own way. So create goals, create a vision, but do a small part of what matters to you most first thing in your day. And I think that's really important, because what happens is, if we've got a busy household, if we've got family, if we've got work commitments, it's very easy to put ourselves ahead of some of those things. So do something small in the morning. So for me, some of those things are going for a walk, it's journaling, it's just spending some time on social media, it's praying, having some quiet time, some of those things that are really important for me. But what is it for you? Journaling, mindfulness, being in a community, retraining and learning a new skill. I think, you know, if there's many of you who are on here right now and I'm thinking, do you know what? I had a few messages from people today of, do you know what? The reality of what I was doing in the past is not what I can do moving forward. So I'm quite stuck. Is use this as an opportunity to retrain, learn a new skill. No matter how old we are, we can go and learn a new skill. Now there's such opportunity for us to do that. There's so many things that we can be multi-passionate about. But do your research. So that could be, you know, for you to unlock your vision of what you want, it could be that you're going to do some research about what you want to do, how you want to do it. Go and see others who've done something similar to you. Less mind clutter. And, you know, very often our mindsets are so cluttered with what's going on. What am I going to do? I'm worried about things financially. I'm worried about when we're going to come out of lockdown. I'm worried about my health. The list, I'm worried about the decisions I've got to make. I'm worried. And then the mindset is so stuck with clutter. But if we fully focus on work or on life or on those small regular breaks of rest and lazy time, that is what will help us. And I know for myself, certainly I always get the most clarity when I've slowed things right down. I've just been trialing that this week with my diary, and I feel so much more freer than I have been in the past, more of those lazy days. And so it's about creating a new relationship with yourself, to realign your calling and fall back in love with your life. So, it might be you've fallen out of love with exercise. You might have fallen back out of love with your partner or whatever it is. But how do you fall back in love with that life, or with the things around you, or with the environment, or with your routine, or with whatever it is for you? It's about rediscovering that, which is so important. And so the key to all of this is how to get clarity to create that vision you want to live. So yes, it is about the inspiration. Yes, it is about the motivation. And yes, it is about the action. But it's about the right action. And I think what tends to happen is we sit on inspiration for so long, or we sit on motivation, but we avoid the action. But what really needs to happen is the action needs to happen. Action is where we get the clarity, by stepping in and taking action. And sometimes it might be, I've got to jump straight into something. I've got to decide I'm going to make a change here. I've got to decide I'm going to change career. I've got to decide I'm going to come out of that relationship. I've got to decide this and take that action. And sometimes us as humans, we want to know the whole picture before we get started. But action comes first. And then the action creates the inspiration. It creates luck. It creates creativity, and then the motivation. So as an example, if you have writer's block, just start writing. If you don't want to exercise, just start exercising. Don't wait until you feel inspired, because you might be sitting on that inspiration for years and years and years. But it's so important that obviously that action creates motivation, and that although motivation can be a result of inspiration, action itself causes the inspiration. And this is a great quote here, which is, action is not just the effort of motivation, it is the cause of it. And actually, just before we started, I just was reminded, this was a book that I read during my cancer journey, and I would so recommend it. You'll see I took it all over with me to the spa. I think actually anyway, it's an amazing book, and it's called The Reality Slip. So How to Find Fulfillment When Life Hurts. And it's by Dr. Russ Harris. He's the author of The Happiness Trap. It's an amazing book. And it talks about, because I imagine a lot of you will have signed on to this because something big has happened, or you feel is happening. So you've lost, it's basically slapped you in the face, and you're like, oh my goodness, like now what? So insightful, so much so that I'll probably read it again. Some of it's quite deep, but such a reminder. So it's about us really understanding, renewing our minds of some of these sorts of things that are really important for us. And it's about climbing those stairs one step at a time, little bit by little bit. And a lot of what I'm sharing here isn't hard stuff. It's just small steps that we need to take. It's decisions that we need to make. So how can you start creating that vision that you have for your life and your work? It's about taking the actions, unlock that vision that you've got, but it's about finding and seeking the tools, the strategies that are going to work well for you, but identifying the quality of those you admire. So that list that we looked at, create goals, create your vision, but connect the dots that you need to take and join up. But more importantly, your dots, not my dots, not everybody else's dots, not your family's dots, not your work colleagues' dots, but your dots. And don't underestimate curiosity and openness, because I think that opens up such a gateway for us to be able to look at things completely different. But also watch out for the wow things like I should, I must, I have to, I can't, all of those big words, and embrace the discomfort. So when we embrace the discomfort with boldness and courage, that's what helps us also connect to our inner selves. So what is the power of the vision that you've got, that power of that vision that you want to create? Because when you identify that, it brings you into a world that focuses on what's important to you. It orders that chaos that's going on around you, that chaos in the mind, that chaos within you, that chaos that you're perhaps creating or that you're fearing. And a lot of this is lived in the everyday routine of life. And so, often many of us don't want to live in routine, but routine and structure and doing these little steps each and every day help us with the inspiration. They help us take the action, even though we don't want to do it. So what are you going to do to create and to start living that life? And so what you could do is you could clarify, motivation clarifies your goals. So really connect with that goal, and it helps you to really focus on that. And as humans, we need motivation. We need to live that each and every day of our lives. But motivation plays a key role in the everyday life. And so ways for us to stay motivated is to regularly review your goals and your progress, how well you're doing, how good you're doing. So I encourage people, look at the beginning of the week of what you've set out to do, check at the end of the week what good things have happened, what could you do better, but even more importantly, each and every day. But continue to set new goals, even if you haven't set them. Maybe readjust them, maybe only have a couple, but keep the momentum up, especially in all of the areas of your health, your life, and your work. Find a mentor or a coach to help you create that, who's experienced that habit or has experienced something that you want to do. But also, more importantly, surround yourself with positive people. So that's why these sessions are great. And I know you do a 3:30 coffee hangout, which I want to come and attend, but I've been on calls and doing all sorts of things. So that is going to be on my goals. I'm going to make sure that that's on my goals next week, that I come and attend one of those. But be around some positive people and use exercise as one of your daily goals to improve your health, because we need our health. If we haven't got our health, then we're not going to be able to live each and every day with a healthy life. And understanding why do you need to be motivated? What's going to help you each and every day? And so I want you to feel like how I felt at that day that I had these pictures taken. That's at a lovely lake where we're based here in the Cotswolds. And I want you to feel, imagine feeling alive and full of hope for your future every day, because I've done that twice. I've lived that and I've experienced that. And I'm experiencing more of that more and more now. I want you to wake up excited with what your day holds. I want you to live a life that feels good inside here, but also externally. And one way you remember who you are, remember at that previous slide of being yourself, and this will all come, but when you're ready to release that inner you, when you're ready to be inspired, and you are in charge of your life, your actions, your behaviors, and your choices. And when we just make a few different shifts, oh my goodness, the feeling, the inspiration, the joy, all of that, the love, the gratitude just flows from you naturally. And so is this you standing in front of a door at the moment that is ready to be opened? But maybe you've been stood at this doorway for a long time because you're afraid to open up the door. And is it your mindset that's getting in the way? Is it your belief system? Is it your limiting vision? Is it your lack of dreams? Is it perhaps you're holding on to all of the failures that you've labeled in your mind that are actually just lessons that we've learned, that we can learn and to do things differently? Or the lack of perseverance, we give up too quickly? Or is it that you're hanging on to so much emotion that needs to be released and needs to just be navigated? Because we have to feel those emotions, even though we don't want to. We need to feel angry, we need to feel sad, we need to feel joyful. We're humans, that's how we've been made and created. Or are you stuck in front of that door because you're comparing yourself to everybody else? You might say, well, I don't know if I can be confident like Kiki speaking like this, or I haven't always felt confident. These take courage, but because I've done them for so many times, I know my topic, I've done the work, I've studied, I do it. Am I nervous when I do these things? Absolutely. Do I compare myself to others? More often, no. There's the odd occasion I do, but then I capture that. I'm on my own journey, and the list goes on. So you have a choice of how you can dream, how you can believe, how you can achieve, and then how you can succeed. So what do you want to succeed in moving forward? What do you want to change? And what do you want to do differently? And I think the really key thing is it's about starting small. And I think so often we start so big that it's so overwhelming. Then we lose the inspiration, then we lose the motivation, and then we're stuck, and then we just don't do anything. So start small, make simple choices each and every day, and make it happen. But make it happen, more importantly, your way. And just literally be bold. Open that door and go through that door to see what's going to be there, because the world that's waiting for you is exciting. It will shock you with how amazing there's so many good things out there. Now, I'm not saying it's going to be an easy journey, but it's the courage, it's the steps that you take each and every day. So we're coming towards the end of this, and then we'll have some questions. So if you've been feeling like you're missing something in your life, or you're questioning your decisions, or you're feeling unfulfilled, or you're struggling to find your purpose of who you are now, stop trying to force the life that you feel like you should have, but instead learn and use tools and strategies. And I'm sure You can go back to listen to all of the motivation and isolation videos, and there will be so many things you will learn from every single one of those videos that will help you recognize that worth within you and how to use it. Refine that inner confidence to shine. It's in you. It's just hidden away at the moment. Be able to ask for what you want and discover those pieces of you that you need to piece back together. And it might not be that the pieces of the puzzle are not the same, but they'll fit in a different way. And build new habits, build those behaviors that set you up to consistently achieve what you want to achieve, not what the world wants you to achieve, but what you want to achieve. But also imagine the vision of your future, and really continue to grow, into the future of whatever's going to happen, but finding that fulfillment in your work and feeling wholesome, and be ready to open up your heart to the world. So it is time to say, I am ready, I am brave, I am bold, and I'm ready to be who I was created to be. And actually, maybe what I'd like you to all do, and I want us to do this together, is I want everybody to unmute themselves. So can everybody unmute themselves? And we're going to all say this together. And actually, I'm going to record it as we all say it together. So let's do it, because if you say it out aloud, you're more likely to do it. So on the count of 3, I want you to all say it, okay? 1, 2, 3. It is my
time to say I am ready to be brave and bold, ready to be who I was created to be.
Okay, so a little bit of action there, but just saying these things aloud, doing just something so small like that, so powerful. So that is everything that I wanted to share with you. There's a couple of slides here of how you can connect with us, which will be in the slides when we send over. But over to you, questions and answers to you.
Thank you, Kiki. Really, I love our little daily dose of inspiration that we get from you. It's always so wonderful, and I feel like you share an awful lot with us. Please, if you've got some questions, either unmute yourself and feel free to ask Kiki, or drop them into the chat. And as I said,
my pleasure.
Share anything with me privately that you want me to ask on your behalf, then I'm very, very happy to do that. It was very, very interesting to see that slide you had with all of who do we get our inspiration from?
Yes.
Heads. And Simon Sinek is somebody that always talks about your why and finding why. What is your why? And he talks about it around brands, and he talks about it around people and all of those kind of things. And I guess this is kind of what you're saying to us, is find your why, and this is your purpose. And that is something that's really hard to do. And so I guess it's how can we find our why? Because sometimes that feels such a big or actually, if we find our why, we then don't know how to go about achieving it. So what would you say to everybody here about how they go about and finding their why, or if they found their why, what kind of little things can they do now to really try to take these steps forward?
Good question. And I think the why thing, all of us struggle with at some point in time. And yes, if any of you haven't checked out Simon Sinek's stuff, his stuff is great. He's got some very short videos. He's got some great books, podcasts. I think my advice would be to you is sometimes it doesn't have to be something massive. And I think sometimes when that question of why you're doing things, or what's my purpose, life purpose, it doesn't have to be big. It can just be in the everyday. So why do I want to wake up each and every day? What do I want to do differently? What do I want to feel? Why do I want to feel that? And just starting small. And a lot of what I've shared in there about taking action, so exploring, being curious, because by you being curious, that's going to then help you get to speak to other people have experienced other things, research, and that's when then you start to connect with that why. You'll know, each of you will know categorically the minute you found that why of what you want to do. And it might be that you know it, but you're not sure, and so you need to just keep digging within you, journaling, getting outdoors, doing a lot of the work that I said in here of the stillness and slowing down and connecting with those things, asking yourself those hard questions. What do I want? What's not working for me anymore? And so sometimes it might be that we have to do a certain amount of things and take action in a certain period of time, that will then get us to that clarity of actually, this is what I want to do. This is why I want to do it. And it's only by doing that you get that clarity. So I'd encourage you just to take action in every aspect that you feel most comfortable, but also bold and courageous to be in. Because I know for me, certainly some of the most boldest things that I've done, which have related to my why, I've got only from doing, and then that's when I've been like, actually, yes, this is what I want to do. This is it. And that was, maybe I can share an example of mine. So when I left that career of being in HR recruitment, there was probably about 9 months when I was contracting, and I didn't know what I wanted to do. But I'd reconnected with an old candidate of mine who'd been in HR, and she had a business, and we were just sharing different things, and I was giving her some ideas of how she could grow a business. And she said, actually, Kiki, why don't you go and look to become a coach? And to be honest, that thought had never had never crossed my mind. Yes, I'd done coaching in my career, and I went on this 2-day coaching experience. And when I was there, literally half an hour in, I was like, this is what I've been called to do. So that was from a series of me just doing just natural things each and every day, but being bold. And you'll know, but the only way you're going to know is by doing, by taking action, by asking, by seeking. So I hope that that's answered your question. Not getting caught up with comparing yourself. Oh, that's okay, they've got their why sorted, I haven't. It'll come to you when it's right for it to come to you.
Yeah, I think we find so often in life that, and I know it's something that I say all the time, is that I just don't have time to think. I don't have headspace, and it's because we're so busy doing, and we're rushing here, there, and everywhere. And I was talking to one of our clients earlier, and he was saying exactly the same. He said it's really nice not to have to rush to the 3 clubs and all the things that they want to do. And so I think this time that we've got in isolation, whilst it has its own challenges, it also has given all of us the opportunity to perhaps reflect and actually have some of that headspace and those times to think, to actually slow down and to look at how we can perhaps look at setting some of those goals. And just to come on to goals, you spoke a lot about this the last time we were together, and about goal setting. And I think it's just maybe sort of talking about that just a little bit, but everybody's always thought that when you find your why, you then have to set goals within that. And goals, I always thought goals were this really big thing I want to achieve. What's really, what's my sort of dream goal? What's my 1 big goal, or my 2 big goals, my 3 big goals? And actually, some of the things that you were talking about is actually a goal. It can be things like, I actually want to clear out that wardrobe.
Yes.
On my list anymore, and I want to just get it. I don't know whether you can talk a little bit about that, because that might also help people with these kind of small steps they need to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, it's a good point that you mentioned that, because very often we think, oh, the big dream is up here and I need to do that. But it's the small steps every day. I often say it's the magic. The magic is in the mess of all of that. And so start small. It might be that you say, do you know what? I'm going to research on some different careers I want to go into. Or it might be that, do you know what? I want to research some different ways that I can motivate myself. It might be I want to research some different, I want to clear that wardrobe. And I think one thing I definitely say is to definitely decluttering your space, your mindset, and slowing down is powerful. I've got oodles of books that I could share with you, and maybe we'll share them on the list there. But by slowing down, because what you're doing is you're decluttering everything around you. I've decluttered so much, and I continue to do so because what we do is we bring more things in. It's a little bit like us as humans, is we take things on that we read on social media. So we focus on putting all of that stuff in our mindset. So we've got to release it somehow. So for me, it's about journaling and writing things down. But it could be as simple as, for you, maybe it's, do you know what, I'm going to let's focus on your health, for instance. I'm going to make sure that I plan my meals, that they're nourishing each and every day. I'm going to exercise 3 times a week. Or it could be, I'm going to, by the end of lockdown, I would have want to have cleared all 3 bedrooms, and I want to clear my wardrobe. And it might be that it's actually on the list every week until it gets done. But it's about the discipline to do it. Or it could be that you want to have more conversations with people because you're quite isolated at the moment. It could be that you need to be a bit more bolder. If you've got your own business, if some of you are listening on here, I need to do more lives and be more visible online. But you dictate the goals, and I'd say definitely have anything between 3 to 5 goals a week. So I was just looking at mine. This week I've had 6 on there. I haven't quite got to 2 of them, but there's still time. So I don't want to get to tomorrow and I haven't done that. Now, it might be one of them might have to move into next week, but I try not not put too much on my schedule. That's really hard because my normal personality profile is to overachieve. So I've got a team that keep me very well trained. It's hard and I want to fight against them, but I know less is more for me. And I know Nicola who's listening in here, I know she'll relate to lots of this. Sometimes we want to achieve so much that we don't do anything and then we beat ourselves up. So just do less. Even if you say, I'm going to do one thing this week, and just focus on the one thing, but it's moving the needle. What's going to move the needle for you that's going to make you feel that you are achieving in whatever area that you want to achieve in?
Brilliant, thank you. One thing, that's all we have to do. Does anybody want to share one thing?
Yes,
week?
That would be amazing.
We're a small group, so I'm just to everybody. So
yeah, that would be good.
How's everyone feeling?
I think I'll have to look at myself and be a little bit more confident, because I'm sort of on the road to sort of retirement. So I was only working a few days a week, but that's stopped now. And I was sort of thinking, what am I going to do in my retirement? And it's brought back, and I think that's one of the things you said, enjoying things that you did when you were younger.
Yeah.
I was always very creative, and I've started doing some painting now, some flower arranging, from online courses and things. So I think I'm sort of looking at, doing things I really enjoy, and, using those maybe to do in my retirement when I am fully retired. So
I love that, Jackie. So good. And it's about recognizing that this is the next part of the journey right now, and you can write it of however you want it to be, and enjoy this time. And I think we don't often look back at the things that we used to do when we were younger. Most of us, I know a lot of the stuff that I do now is from when I was younger. And it might be a couple of weeks ago I ran something which was release the creativity in you, and maybe Purusha, maybe we can do that one soon too. But creativity is the best way to unlock that. So I'm pleased that there's a bit of inspiration there for you.
Thank you so much for once again coming onto the Motivation in Isolation platform. As Kiki said, we will be sharing with you the presentation from today. We will edit the video and we will share that with you as well. So do feel free to pass it on to friends, families, colleagues who you think also may benefit from this. And do come back onto the Motivation in Isolation platform. We have more coming up for you each week. So do visit, and you can also watch back anything that we have had in the past. And as I mentioned, this is Kiki's 3rd visit here, so she has shared with you lots of masterclasses and workshops already on how to really support yourself during this time. So thank you very, very much, everybody, for giving up your time to come this afternoon again to Kiki, and we look forward to seeing you again. Thank you.
Bye-bye, everybody.